You feel overwhelmed. Your boss has just piled 3 more projects onto your desk. Your car is making that noise again. You have 17 unread messages on your phone, and you don't have the energy to answer them. And when someone asks if you need help, you smile and say, "I'm fine," but you aren't fine. Yet there is something no one talks about. You aren't being strong, you are terrified. Today, we're going to reveal the true psychology behind those who would rather crash and burn than ask for help. Stick around, and by the end of this video, your perspective on independence will change. By the end of this video, you will understand why the phrase, "I've got this," is actually code for something much darker. We will explore childhood conditioning, attachment wounds, and the silent terror of becoming a burden. And if you have ever felt guilty for needing someone or know someone who refuses help even when they are falling apart, this will change the way you see everything, because what looks like strength from the outside is sometimes just fear wearing a very convincing mask. This is what society tells us. Independent people are strong. Self-reliant people have their lives under control. Needing help implies that you are weak, dependent, or broken. And some people have internalized that message so deeply that asking for help feels like admitting they are fundamentally flawed. But let's get down to specifics. We aren't talking about people who simply turn down help now and then. These are people who move furniture on their own while having a broken arm, keep working despite extreme exhaustion until they physically collapse, solve every problem in isolation, cancel plans rather than admit they are struggling, feel genuine panic at the thought of being a burden to others. And the most surprising thing is this: it has nothing to do with independence. According to research on attachment theory, this behavioral pattern often stems from childhood, specifically from moments when asking for help resulted in rejection, punishment, or shame. Picture the scene. You're 6 years old. You fall, scrape your knee, and run crying to your parent. But instead of comfort, you get, "It's nothing, stop making a scene." Or perhaps you ask for help with homework and hear, "Figure it out yourself, I'm busy." Or worse yet, you see your parent so busy and exhausted that you instinctively know asking for anything might stress them out even more than they already are. That is how avoidant attachment forms. Your still developing brain makes a calculation. Needing help equals rejection. Being vulnerable equals being alone. So you learn to shut down, not consciously, but at a deep level, linked to survival. Psychologist John Bowley discovered that children who experienced a consistent lack of availability from their caregivers developed what he called compulsive self-reliance. They don't become independent because it's healthy, but because it's the only option that didn't hurt. But this is where the situation gets bleaker. That 6-year-old child is still inside you, operating under the same equation. If I ask for help, I'll be abandoned. Even when you're 32 and a friend sincerely wants to help you move. Even when you're exhausted and your partner offers genuine support. The fear isn't logical. It's visceral, and something else happens, something no one talks about, something that makes this pattern even more destructive. People who never ask for help don't just fear rejection, they're convinced they don't deserve help. Reflect on this for a moment. Somewhere along the way, they internalized the belief that their needs are inherently a burden, that their struggles aren't valid enough, that other people's problems are real, but theirs, they should be able to handle them alone. Psychologists call this toxic self-reliance. It isn't self-confidence, it is self-abandonment disguised as strength. Here's the mechanism in action. When something goes wrong, most people think, "This is hard, I should reach out." But people with this pattern think, "This is hard, which means I'm failing. If I ask for help, I'm proving I can't handle my own life." The shame is crushing. It's not about the task itself, moving boxes, fixing the car, admitting you're struggling mentally. It's about what asking for help means in their internal narrative. I'm weak, I'm incompetent, I'm too much. And here's the tragic irony. These are often the people who give the most help to others. They'll drop everything for a friend. They'll stay up all night helping someone move. They'll be the emotional support for everyone around them because helping others feels safe. Being needed feels good, but being the one who needs, that's vulnerability. And vulnerability to them feels like standing naked in a spotlight waiting to be rejected. Research from Dr. Brené Brown's work on shame and vulnerability confirms this. People with high shame sensitivity around needing help often have the strongest helper identities. They're compensating, proving their worth by being useful, because deep down, they don't believe they're valuable just for existing. But wait, there's a specific type of person who takes this even further, and if you recognize yourself here, this might explain why you feel so isolated, even when you're surrounded by people who care about you. Some people don't just avoid asking for help, they actively test people by not asking. It's called counter-dependency. They're so terrified of depending on someone and being let down that they create scenarios where they prove no one can be trusted. Here's how it works. They don't tell you they're struggling. They handle everything alone. Then, when they inevitably burn out or fail, they think, see, I knew I couldn't count on anyone, but they never gave anyone the chance to show up. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, a psychological defense mechanism that keeps them safe from the very thing they desperately want: genuine connection. Dr. Susan Anderson, who studies abandonment trauma, explains it this way: the fear of needing someone isn't really about the help itself. It's about the terror of discovering that when you finally let someone in, when you finally show them you're not invincible, they'll leave. So you never give them the opportunity. You reject yourself first. God, that's heavy, but it explains so much. Why someone would rather suffer alone than risk the possibility of someone seeing their struggle and walking away. The loneliness they choose feels safer than the abandonment they fear. And here's the part that will rethink every "I'm fine" you've ever said or heard. This pattern doesn't just affect relationships, it physically destroys you. Studies on chronic stress show that people who refuse to ask for help have significantly higher cortisol levels, weaker immune systems, and higher rates of burnout and cardiovascular problems. Your body is literally deteriorating from shouldering everything on your own. But there is something even more insidious. When you never ask for help, you never learn that you can receive support and still survive. You never get evidence to contradict your core belief: I am alone in this. Every time you face something on your own, you reinforce that neural pathway. See? I have to do it all myself. Your brain never receives new information to update that childhood mental program. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett explains that our brains are prediction machines. They use past experiences to predict future outcomes. If your past says asking for help equals pain, your brain will keep predicting that, even when your current reality is completely different. You aren't living in the present. You are trapped in the loop of a decision you made at age 6 to survive, and now it is killing you. So how do you break this cycle? How do you reprogram such a deeply ingrained pattern? And more importantly, how do you know if you're truly independent or simply afraid of being a burden? Here's the difference. Healthy independence says, I can handle this, but I don't have to do it alone. Toxic self-reliance says, I must face this alone, because if I don't, I'm worthless. One is a choice. The other is a mental prison. If you want to start healing this, it's not about suddenly asking for help with everything. It's about experimenting with small doses of low-risk vulnerability. Ask someone to bring you a coffee. Let a friend choose the restaurant. Admit you're tired instead of saying you're busy. Your nervous system needs proof that asking for help doesn't equal rejection. You have to train your brain with new information, little by little, safely. And if you're reading this and thinking, but what if I ask for help and they say no? That's fear talking. That's your inner 6-year-old. The truth is, healthy people want to help those they care about. Letting them into your life isn't a burden. It's a gift. It's saying, I trust you enough to show you who I really am. The strongest thing you can do isn't carrying everything on your own. It's having the courage to say, I need help. So here's the real question. Are you independent or simply terrified of being seen as a burden? Are you strong or are you exhausted from pretending to be? Leave a comment if this really resonated with you. Tell me, do you ask for help or do you try to get through everything on your own, gritting your teeth and just pushing through? If you want more psychology that truly explains why you are the way you are, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if this video made you feel less alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next video.